our first episode of 2022.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
What did you do for New Year's?
Sat on the couch, and then at 10:30, Philip said, I'm going to bed. And I said, good night.
You two crazy kids.
I know. I said, good night. And then he went to bed, and then I told my kids Happy New Year on text, and then I fell asleep.
Before midnight?
No, after. I always wait till after.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any traditions? New Year's? Not really?
Mm-mm.
So we stay, Rhett and I stay up, usually.
I mean, I
always.
do like to get stone cold drunk. No, I'm just kidding.
By yourself, because Philip's in bed.
Joking.
No kids are at home.
Just kidding.
Rhett and I always will stay up till midnight.
That's
and then
nice.
our tradition is to complain about all the New Year shows. They're completely unwatchable.
I don't watch any kind of New Year show.
I mean, Dick Clark, hosted by Ryan Seacrest. I'm old enough now, I don't know anybody on there.
Yeah, no.
Except this year they did Journey.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
Journey,
stop
randomly.
believing.
I guess they were like, we have to give a shout out to our Gen Xers.
Yeah.
But we know nobody on this show. We don't know whatever the one that was on CBS, whatever Pete Davidson and Miley Cyrus, I'm not going to watch. CNN, I can't watch it. I can't watch, like, none of the cable ones, Fox News, no, hard pass. They're all completely unwatchable. So we like to just sit and complain about it the whole night until the ball drops on Central Time. But then also, I'm Cuban. Every now and then I'll say something about that. Our tradition is to eat 12 grapes at midnight. One for each month, and you're supposed to do it all in the very first minute of the new year. Yeah, we do it every single year.
Okay.
And it just, supposed to bring it, just like Southerners do
Collard
black-eyed peas and
greens
collard
and-
greens and all
yeah.
that. We just eat 12 grapes at midnight, and it's supposed to usher in good luck for the new year.
Yeah.
And my whole life, I've done that. And I've passed that tradition on to my children. And like my teenager spent the night with a couple of friends for New Year's. And she took grapes. And she made sure she took grapes for her friends. And so that's our little tradition.
Yeah. I mean, I don't believe in black magic, but
But listen, it's been such a sucky 2020 and 2021.
I like
I'm willing
22
to
grapes.
I'm willing to give an inch this year and be like, maybe it works. So
Yeah.
So we totally did it.
Do you
I
do-
prayed too, so that's that.
oh, that's good. That cancels it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you do like resolutions?
I love resolutions.
You do?
I do, and I know a lot of people really hate them. But it's less of a resolution and more of like goals. Or
That's what I like.
yeah, I don't. It's not like I resolve to be a better person or I resolve to some. I just prefer to have something like a couple years ago I learned to make cookies. I learned how to do royal icing cookies to decorate.
Yes, and you
that was
taught
one of
me.
my New Year's resolutions is to learn how to do that. Calligraphy, I taught myself calligraphy because that was like a goal that I wanted to do for that year.
Right.
And just so every year I'll come up with, and they don't always get done. It's just something that I have that I've always wanted to do or that I might want to try.
I love that because I like learning how to do new things. So
Yeah. Podcast was one of them a couple years ago.
yeah. So what's your New Year's resolution or goal for this year?
Okay. One thing I would like to do this year is collect money. You've heard of that. You might have heard of like the TikTok challenge. I don't know if it's called TikTok challenge. It's like a social media thing where you collect money. People will send you anything from $5 to $10, $20, $15, whatever.
Oh, I wanna do
And then you
that
take
too.
that money and you go and you pay for somebody's lunch or their gas or their groceries, or you tip a waitress huge, and you just bless somebody with, because all that small amount will add up to,
Yeah.
potentially hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
And you can really go help somebody with that. So I thought that would be a fun thing to do a few times this year. So I want to do that. I just have to make sure people trust me enough to send me their money
Yeah.
that they don't think I'm going to spend it on us because we're not.
Don't send it to me because I'll accidentally go to TJ Maxx.
No,
I will.
your car is permanently pointed to TJ Maxx.
They have such cute stuff. I'll be like, this is really going to help TJ Maxx grow. They can hire some new employees if I spend this money here.
You're like, there's a customer at TJ Maxx that could really use
Yeah.
some help. Oh, it's me.
Oh, hey, there's
me.
a special needs family that needs to go to TJ Maxx. It's me.
I can't even remember what the other was. Oh, I'm going to read the Bible through this year.
Really?
Yes. Our friend Kim, Shout out to Kim.
Shout out Kimmy.
Stop calling.
If you add "it" at the end of somebody's name, that means you love them.
Okay, all right. Amarilla Z.
Well, you already have a long name, so I would say Amy.
That's right,
Yeah.
Amy. So Kim last year did it's from the Bible app. It's called the Bible Recap. And it tells you, and I haven't done my reading for today, but it's just like 2 or 3 chapters of, right now it's just Genesis. And I think as you move forward, you'll do New Testament and Old Testament together.
Right.
And then there's like an 8-minute podcast that goes along with your reading. And it's fascinating. Like it's not, a lot of times these read the Bible through are just so drab and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to survive this. But it's so good. It's so good. And so she did it all last year. So I'm going to attempt it this year. That's my goal.
So here's what I'm attempting, because I'm very bad at keeping resolutions. I try to do goals, or I try to focus on a word or whatever.
Yeah.
But so this year I saw our friend Holly that used to work at our church was doing this thing where you pray for one person for a whole week, and then and they give you a Bible verse, and you focus on that Bible verse, and you pray for that person every day that week.
Okay.
And so you get 52 people. And so I don't know if I've got 52, but I got a lot. And so I put it on there, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, I'm so bad at this. And I'm going to feel like
good luck when somebody has
I'm going to feel horrible if I was supposed to pray for that person that week and their car catches on fire. I'm going to be like, well, thanks a lot. So anyway, I was like, okay, if I publish it, I'll have to do it because I put it out there, and wouldn't I be a horrible person to be like, I'm going to pray for you, and I really don't. So I put it out there, and I thought, well, nobody will really put their thing. I got a bunch of people on there.
Does everybody think you're extra holy, that your prayers carry extra weight?
I mean, obviously.
Apparently.
I mean, I have such good fortune, but leave it to your best friend to call you out, because I put it on there, and all these people who think I'm so sweet and so nice and so holy,
they know better.
They put all their stuff on there, and they're like, oh, I can't wait for you to pray for me. And then my best friend Shelly said, because it said, I'm going to put your name on my planner this week, and she was like, you don't have a planner.
Can I tell you that I literally thought the same thing, but I didn't, Shelly? We would be friends too. Maybe Misty should introduce us, because I literally thought the same thing. Misty ain't got no planner. Where is she going to put these people's names?
BS. I do have a planner. I just do not write in it except for January, and then I'm done. So I have to get all those names written in there.
So congrats to the 4 people in January who are getting prayed for.
That's right. God is gonna smile on you. Let me tell you.
The glory of the Lord will shine upon you.
That's right. I'm gonna do it, Amaryllis.
February through December, people. Screw you.
Can y'all send me a text reminder and say it's my week? Hey, Misty, can I remind you?
I literally thought
you need to pray for me this week.
This is going to go the same way Avery's planner goes.
Oh, bless.
And it's just there. It will get 0 use, but it's going to be really pretty.
The month that I do it, it looks beautiful. We do multicolored pens, stickers. We do all sorts of things.
You should just do it on your phone.
It's beautiful. I really should, but I won't.
But you won't.
Can I tell one more thing before we get started?
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of praying for people, I'm going to need those that pray, the listeners out there, to pray for me, because I spilled a cup of coffee on my head this morning.
Wait, we were laughing. Say it again. You spilled coffee where?
On top of my head this morning. Listen, I was trying to be a good friend, And I texted Amaryllis before I got here, and I said, can I pick you up some coffee? Can I do this? And
she got me a pink drink.
She's like,
it's right there.
Get me a pink drink. And I was like, okay. So I got her a pink drink, and I got myself some coffee, because normally I would get a dragon drink, but they were out, of course. I don't believe in luck, but good luck. So I was like, well, I'll get a coffee instead. So I get this coffee, and as I'm getting out of the car trying to maneuver it, I had a hair, one of my tendrils that I like to pull down here, my accent pieces.
Yeah.
My money pieces, as Mary calls them, float down into my line of vision, and I couldn't stand it. And so I reached I should have used your drink. That would have been more comfortable, but I took my piping hot coffee and I went to move the hair that was impeding my vision, and I just poured that coffee right on top of my head.
Well, Misty,
And then
sounds like you need some help with hand-eye coordination.
And then while I was here, I attracted a fruit fly, like Linus
Yes, you did.
off Charlie Brown.
And it's the lone remaining fruit fly from the fruit fly infestation of 2021.
Well, it found me immediately.
I need to put out some more vinegar.
Started
I had
circling.
vinegar out for like 3 weeks straight.
Oh, well, just let me bring Avery over here to take her shoes off.
That'll take care of it.
That'll take care of it.
Hey, has there ever been anything in your life that you were willing to jump out of your car for in the middle of the interstate?
Actually, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I did not see that coming.
Not in the middle of the interstate, but I pulled over on the side of the interstate because a grasshopper was in my car. And it scared me to death. And I thought, well, I can either die in a car accident because this grasshopper has attacked me, or I can pull over and get out and wait for it to jump out of my car. And so that's what I did.
And wait for it to jump. You know, grasshoppers don't do anything, right? They're just...
They jump on you.
we used to
scare
catch them when
you.
we were kids.
I don't care.
Okay.
That is not natural to be able to jump that way. That's a demon bug, and I don't want anything, that and a praying mantis, I don't want nothing to do with it.
So have you ever jumped out of your car, say, for a Beanie Baby?
Absolutely not. No, ma'am.
You know what? We've talked this whole time, not once have we introduced ourselves.
Oh, this is on the dog.
We like to talk about documentaries, but mostly we just like to hear ourselves talk.
And talk about ourselves.
I'm Amaryllis.
And I'm Misty.
Today we're going to talk about Beanie Mania. It's a new documentary on HBO Max.
Yes.
And it came out like the week of Christmas or the week right before New Year's.
The
Do you have
Beanie
Beanie
craze.
Babies?
I wanted to have Beanie Babies, okay?
Okay.
Because my best friend, Shelly,
Yeah.
this is just going to be the Shelly
This is Shelly.
episode. Well, she was so excited because I've never brought her up before, and she was like, you better say my name. And
From
so,
now on, we're going to have a Shelly corner.
Shelly Corner. But she was a huge Beanie Baby collector, and
Yeah.
I'll get more into that as we go into the show.
Okay.
But so I wanted to collect them because everybody collected them, and it was like a huge
Yeah.
thing. But I've got the ADD, so I got like 3,
Oh, really?
and then I was done.
Well,
And Philip bought them for me, and yeah.
he didn't want to collect. He didn't want to be jumping out of the car. in
And
the
I'm
middle
not
of
a
the
good
interstate.
collector. Like, I want to rip the tags off and like put a necklace on it and stuff. So.
Do you collect anything?
No,
You've never collected anything?
I'm trying to think.
I used to collect snow globes. I had dozens and dozens of snow globes. And
I don't have the attention span to be a collector.
once you become a collector, it makes, my mom used to say that she loved it because I was so easy to buy for, because once I started collecting snow globes, that's all anybody would give me.
Right.
Is a snow globe. And,
Well-
and I was like, I got other interests.
Yeah.
I don't need another Santa snow globe.
Well, I couldn't do collections because, like I said, I get bored real easy. And so instead of being like doing collections when I was a kid, I would do like themes for myself.
Yeah.
So, like, when I was like 13, everything was sunflowers. Like,
Okay.
I wore Elizabeth Arden sunflower
Oh, yeah.
perfume. My bedspread was sunflowers. My shirts had sunflowers on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything had to be sunflowers. And then, like, so I would just do different themes for myself.
Yeah.
But I never.
What happened when the sunflower bubble burst? What was next?
Oh, goodness. What came? Owls.
Owls.
Yes. I loved owls for a while. I'll just love different things.
Okay.
And then that's good for me because I can't stick with anything for very
Okay.
long. I'm surprised I'm still doing this podcast.
It's the promise of all the wealth.
If you weren't calling me,
It's the promise of all the wealth
it
that's
is.
coming.
And I keep hoping your mother will be here to make me those meatballs again.
She's going to come back soon.
Yay.
She's going to come back soon.
Yay.
So I'll tell her that you said that. She'll be so excited.
Can she teach me how to make them, or is that secret? for
No, it's not a secret.
Cubans only.
My friends would always ask me, "Will you please tell your mother to tell me how to give me a recipe?" And she always was like, "I don't have recipes. I just..."
See, I'm a visual learner,
Yeah.
so like when you taught me how to make those cookies, like I have to come and watch it, and then as soon as you gave me the recipe, I knew how to do it because
Yeah.
I'd seen you do it. So
Yeah.
I would need to come watch her.
Yeah, and she doesn't. I mean, she wouldn't be like, "Take 2 cups of flour and take this," and she would just kind of throw everything in. And
She'd be like, take a scoop of love.
yes, she measures with her heart.
Yes.
as they say.
Yes.
Okay, so Beanie Babies. It turns out that this Beanie Baby madness was really, what's the word? Propagated, was really started
Why
by
are you
just
going to make me
these...
go home and Google a word again?
Sometimes I like to use big words, and very often I don't use them correctly, but I sure do make myself think I'm super smart when I use them.
Say that word again.
It's either, I don't know which one is right, proliferated or propagated.
Okay.
Propagated, I think, is probably the right one. This mania, because apparently these 3 or 4 or 5 women in the Chicago area were the ones who were buying up Beanie Babies left and right.
Yes.
And then soon it took over the world.
Well, and just like most things, it was really nice until adults ruined it.
That's exactly right.
I mean, these are toys,
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. And when it first started out, it was these little plush toys that were small enough for a kid to hold in their hands. It's got beans in it. It's like little bean bags, so it's soft, and they can pose it in different ways. And then wouldn't it be fun to have different kinds, and you could collect them, and then the mothers got involved.
Yeah, the moms were like, "It's for our kids. It's for our kids. Don't touch it.
It's all for our
Don't pin
children.
the tag."
Do not take that tag off or I'll kill you. That's my Diana Bear.
Yeah. Candle in the wind.
Look what I got you for Christmas. Don't touch it. That's another reason.
I'll hold it. You just look. I'll hold it.
That's another reason I could not get on the Beanie Baby craze, was because I have to play with things and touch them.
You want to take that tag off.
Girl, I want to rip that tag off first and foremost.
Yeah. You don't care about those poems.
No, I want to color on it with a Sharpie. I want to do something crazy to it, and I couldn't do it. But my beautiful friend Shelly, as I was telling you, was a Beanie Baby collector.
Yeah.
And then her mother.
I was going to say, was it her or was it her mother?
Well, it started her because she is the classic collector, okay? And she did this from the time like we were teenagers. She had collections of things. Like she collected Disney mugs, like that have like the different Disney movies on it. She collected, I say she collected blankets because she had this whole like Princess and the Pea action going on her bed. And she collected porcelain dolls.
Oh my
and
gosh.
she's a keeper of things.
Yeah.
Like everything's a memory and everything's special. And so even as a kid, she kept things like that. And she's also very clean and she's very organized. And so that worked for her because like her Beanie Baby collection was literally a organized mountain of Beanie Babies.
Does it look like that pile? Remember the Disney store?
Oh, yeah.
When you'd walk into the Disney
That's
store?
exactly what it
Okay.
looked like. Yeah, by her closet.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if there was a structure under it.
Yeah.
But you couldn't see for all the tiny heads poking out.
Yeah.
And so she could do that kind of thing where I could not do that kind of thing. But when it first started out, she would get them for special occasions. So like she really liked them, and so she had gotten a few. And then her mama, shout out Janine, Nene Mom, decided, oh, well, I'll start getting them for her for different occasions, right? And so I think Nene got a little excited about Beanie Babies. And so then it was like, well, she's got cheer tryouts, so she gets a Beanie Baby.
Yeah.
She's got a dentist appointment. Let's get her a Beanie Baby. She cut her fingernails last night. Let's get her a Beanie Baby. So everything became a reason to get a Beanie Baby. So she collected a vast amount of them.
Yeah.
And even to the point that her senior year of high school, she tried out for All-American Cheer and made the team, and they went to London.
Oh, wow.
And in London,
Why would the All-American cheer team go to London?
who knows?
Okay.
But they go there to be in a parade.
Okay.
And look at all these kids from America.
They're going like over by Harrods, and they're
Do your stupid American cheer in our
and
parade over
Londoners,
here.
here's an American team. That is hilarious.
Yeah, so they go to London, and she found a Princess Diana bear in London at the peak of the Princess Diana Beanie Baby craze, and apparently paid an astronomical amount of money for it. Okay.
Well, those are the rare ones. That's like one of the rare ones.
It's one of the rare ones, and and I talked to her last night, and I said, listen, I'm doing this Beanie Baby podcast, and she was like, you need to talk to Janine about that Princess Diana bear. Unfortunately, I did not get to talk to her about it before, but she did tell me it was a high dollar amount.
Yeah.
And they actually still have all these Beanie Babies.
Wow.
In their possession, and they are worth about 25 cents a piece now.
I was going to say none of them are worth anything except for maybe that Princess Diana one.
I don't know.
Really?
I bet it's not worth what she paid for it.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But
it's worth whatever people will pay for it, but
true. So let's talk about how Beanie Babies started.
Okay.
Which was very interesting to me.
Okay.
So basically there's this guy named Ty Warner.
Mm-hmm.
Character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he starts as a salesman at a company called Dakin Toys, selling this other guy's toys.
Right.
And so he's really good at it. Like, he's very charismatic, and he's able to sell lots of toys, but then he decides, well, why would I sell these for somebody else? I can make them for myself. And so he starts the Ty company, right? And so when he starts out...
Such a clever name.
Such a clever name. He starts out in 1993 with 5 rooms and 14 employees. And he comes up with this idea for a small little stuffed animal that's very posable and plush and fun to hold, and they're animals.
Yep.
And so he creates the Beanie Baby.
Yep.
And he tries to get it on the market at first, and it really doesn't go anywhere. But he's got some really smart young people working for him, and pretty much
this is pre-internet.
This is pre-internet. Yeah. Well, it's like right as internet kind of starting,
just at the start of the bubble,
just at the peak. And so he goes to some of these younger people and are like, "Hey, give me some ideas to help push this. This is a great product. How do we get people to kind of take the bait?" And one of his employees, a young woman, says, well, why don't we give them names, and why don't we write little poems for each one of them? And so they had about 60 or 80 different varieties at that time.
It was a lot of poems to write.
It was a lot, and she wrote it in one night.
I mean, that is impressive.
Because he was getting ready to take it to a big distributor.
Yeah.
And so they did that, and it caught.
Yeah.
But he decided that he didn't want to sell them in big mass markets.
Yeah.
He only wanted to sell them in small, like mom and pop, card shops, Hallmarks. And I can remember that.
I love that. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
I love that. And I know this Ty guy, and we're going to find out later, is not a great guy. Mm-mm. But I love that strategy because I'm going to tell you why. Because I used to have a retail store. A mom and pop retail store. I used to have a pottery studio.
Yeah.
And in that industry, there's only a handful of suppliers. And sometimes those suppliers would want to expand their reach. And I understand that. Mm-hmm. But they would sell to places like Michael's or just these huge big box retailers. Well, what does that do to the little guy who's really your bread and butter?
Right.
What it does is you get customers calling you saying, hey, I just bought the same item you've got on your shelf for half the price. Can I buy it there and bring it to you and paint it at your place? Mm-hmm. And so the answer to that for me was always no, you cannot do that. That's not how I make money.
Right.
But I love that he really depended on the small guy. Mm-hmm. And we're going to find out that it worked. Like the strategy went bonkers.
Well, the way that he did things, I don't even know that he meant to do it this way, But every decision that he made was really genius because it was something that drew people who were collectors.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a collector, they don't just love the thing, they love the hunt.
Yes.
And so who wants to be able to just go to Walmart and buy anything? It decreases the value.
Yeah.
That's what made Beanie Babies so valuable was finding them, was hunting them down, the fact that there was limited quantities, the fact that at one point he's going to start retiring these things. He's really just getting to the root of what collectors love to do.
Yeah.
And that's find the unfindable find.
He understood it.
Yeah. So he figures out that he can market to collectors. And like you were saying, there was a group of women in Chicago who, when he first released these Beanie Babies in these little Hallmark, and that's where I remember finding them, was like
Hallmark had them
Hallmark
all over.
stores or pharmacy drug stores, things like that.
You know, you just said the fun was in the hunt, and that is 100% true. And Ty understood that because he didn't offer any information about where any of these were. He didn't say, this Hallmark is getting this lot, that Hallmark is getting this lot, this mom and pop toy store is getting... People would have to call around to all these places to find that tie-dye bear or, you know, whatever it is.
He was the Lula Rich of toys.
Without the patterns.
Without the mold.
Without the mold.
Yes.
And without looking like you have a penis growing out of your side.
Of your starfish up your hoot. So there's a group of moms in Chicago, and they kind of catch the bug early. And they all live in this cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And they start deciding, hey, these things are really cute, and we can collect them, and let's do that. Like, let's make this a thing that we do with our kids, and we'll keep a log of all the ones that we get.
They had a spreadsheet in a, 5-inch binder.
It was like a whole thing.
It was crazy.
Which, I look at that and I go, like, why would you want to do that? But then, remember that thing that people used to do where they would go out and find stamps and boxes that people had? Geocaching.
Yeah.
So they would do that kind of thing. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. It's like something you can do with your kids that they enjoy and that gets them out of the house.
Yeah.
And for them, it was shopping and going and finding these things. And so they would keep these huge catalogs. And eventually, they kind of became like his biggest advertisers.
Yes, they were his. They are the reason Beanie Babies went crazy.
Absolutely.
Also, I feel like all these women had a little too much money.
Well, they had a little too much expendable income.
Yes.
Some of them had too many credit cards.
Yes.
And a little bit of extra time on their hands.
And more than once, they overreached.
They did.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny, though, is many of these women who became, like, Beanie crazy had very, like, lucrative jobs before they became stay-at-home moms or retired or whatever. They had these, like, really cool jobs. And so it was like once they were done with that, they needed something to kind of fill that empty spot for them. And we found podcasting.
Absolutely.
They found beanies.
But, like, Mary Beth was a software developer.
Oh, yeah. One of them worked for the FBI.
FBI.
Yeah. I was like...
She was a cryptologist.
She's
like breaking codes. She's like, I'd rather go search for Jake the Mallard or Drake the Mallard.
And write a Beanie Baby rap.
Misty, will you please do the Beanie Baby rap?
I could not do it, but I will tell you the tagline is, I'm all tied up.
She said she sent it to some radio stations, but
she
they never played it.
Well, Janine, I don't understand why.
It's astonishing.
It was a showstopper, let me tell you. So the beanie craze takes off, and these women begin to make kind of a career out of it.
Mary Beth, she's kind of the head. Like, if there was somebody in charge, it probably would have been her.
She's the beanie MVP.
Yeah. She is. Yeah, they say the HBIC, the head beanie lady in charge. I mean, you know what I mean?
Oh,
She's
yeah.
like, She would start calling around to chambers of commerce to get the names of local gift shops that carried Beanie Babies. And she said, I think it was her that said, because this was before cell phones and before you could call long distance. This was when they charged you for long distance calls. Do you remember that? Are you old enough, young enough?
Let me tell you, I got in so much trouble over some long distance calls.
Oh, snap.
Because I met a boy at the beach one time.
Oh, no.
And he gave me his long distance phone number. And I didn't know about long distance phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would call and he would call me and we would just talk and talk and talk.
Like nothing.
And it was a crazy amount of money that I racked up.
Oh, yeah.
And I got in so much trouble. And
Sure.
I'm sorry, Brian, I never called you back.
It was my parents' fault. What might have been, Brian?
My mother said I couldn't call you anymore. It's too expensive.
No, isn't that crazy? Because we don't even think about it now. Like, you could literally call international on your cell phone and you're just ticking off nothing. I mean, it's all... And even, do you remember even having cell phone plans that was minutes?
Oh, girl, do you know how many times I would go over minutes and Philip Gillespie would be like, if you don't wait till after 5 o'clock to call somebody.
Free nights and weekends, man.
Free nights and weekends. Yeah.
I remember having a cell phone plan, $60 for 600 minutes. And I was like, I'll never use 600 minutes.
Oh, girl, you use them up.
You use them up.
And it would make me so mad if I would call somebody and they didn't answer, because that was a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Automatically.
Yeah.
And I didn't know nothing. We didn't have text. I mean,
no text.
You just had to call and pray to God they answered, or else you were getting a minute off your thing. Or you have to wait till after 5. I remember when all that started, like real big, like cell phones and plans and all that, was when I first had Isaac, and I was so bored. And like,
oh, you're calling everybody.
I wanted to call and talk to people all day long. And I mean, like, I could on my home phone,
sure.
But then if you were out somewhere...
Not long distance, though.
I did not have a long-distance friend. No, ma'am. But if you're out somewhere, like a park or whatever, and you wanted, like, you were messed up if it wasn't past 5.
Oh, yeah. And God knows you're not going to be outside after 5 o'clock.
Not in the dark with a baby.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Somebody will snatch me up.
So they spent $2,000 a month on a phone bill trying to find these freaking Beanie Babies.
I can't.
That doesn't make any sense to me. That's why I say they had a little too much extra income.
They did. And
that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So anyway, so she and this crew of ladies, they just began this hunt, and it just grew. And eventually Mary Beth started a magazine called the Beanie Baby magazine, or the Beanie Baby something. And then she got sued by Ty Warner, who was like, hey, Beanie Baby name belongs to me. Now, this is after she'd been doing it
years.
A year and a half. Maybe years.
Yeah.
For a long time. Like, she had generated enormous amounts of interest.
Well, by that time, they were raking in over $1 billion.
Yes. And she had done her part to generate that much. I mean,
these ladies were on talk shows. They were taking news interviews. And I mean, it's not like Ty was paying them.
They were Beanie Baby apologists.
They even became Beanie Baby authenticators.
Yes. Somebody needs to send that Diana Beanie Baby over there. $25, Shelley.
Girl.
Send it to this lady. She will authenticate it.
Yes, she will. And put it in a glass box and put a sticker on it.
Yeah.
And then that was around the time the internet came about. And they really took hold of that, pushed it even further by starting these web pages.
You know, it made me laugh because that lady and her brother Lena and her brother, I can't think of his name, they were they worked there. She was the one that wrote all the poems.
Right.
The girl that wrote all the poems.
She's so smart.
Oh, yeah. She was so...
Like,
she's got to be my age because she was already working with him in 1994.
Oh, yeah.
Does she look like she's 30 years younger than I am?
I thought she was 20 years old.
What is happening? Was she a fetus when she worked for Ty?
The skin on that woman.
She was amazing.
She has to be like Elastigirl.
Yes. She said... It made me laugh because she approached Ty and was like, there's this new thing called the internet, and we should have a webpage. And he was like, well, I don't know. You know what? You make a good point. And he was like, okay, let's do a webpage.
I'm sorry, Lena. You should have millions of dollars right now because all of her ideas, the poems,
Was it her that came up with the name?
Yeah, she came up with the names. She wrote the poems. she decided to do the website, which turned into something called a guest book.
Yeah. The only thing I have against that website is it was all in Comic Sans.
It was the early days. Okay.
I can't with Comic Sans.
You're lucky that, I mean, I think they were still printing out on the paper that like came in a roll.
Matrix.
And you had to like take
Not Matrix, yeah.
take the sides off of it to make a banner. And remember you'd fold them, make little invitations.
Oh, yeah.
I loved
Totally.
Oh my God, I loved it. But every idea that she had is what pushed forward the marketing, and which was 1,000% what sold these things. I'm sorry, y'all. Beanie Babies are not cute. They're not cute.
Shut your mouth.
They're not cute. They're not fun. What's fun about
There's nothing fun about them.
What's fun about a beanie
I think
bag?
they are cute. They're just little animals, and they're fun to like. They feel good when you hold them.
I mean,
of the weight.
sensory-wise, yeah.
Yeah, sensory-wise.
Like-
And they are. Some of them are cute. They're fine. I mean, it's just a stuffed animal.
I just didn't think they were
But there's
cute.
not anything to them.
There's nothing. They're stuffed animals. But their marketing and her ideas was what made them valuable. And then the way that they started to put them out to the market was, putting them in the small places. And then they finally find out, okay, people are starting to collect these. What's another way that we can kind of make these even more valuable? And Ty came up with the idea of retiring them.
Genius. Freaking genius.
Which, what do we all want? The one thing we can't get.
Right.
Right? And so as soon as he said, hey, starting this date, every time I release a Beanie Baby, I'm going to retire one.
Another one's out.
One in, one out. And people went nuts.
By 1996, there were 51 retired Beanie Babies.
And they said that they would get in a load of Beanie Babies and somebody would find out, oh, well, this one's going to be retired next. And women would come in and buy 20 at a time. Everything you've got, I'll take.
Oh, these women were going to trade shows. UPS men were getting stalked. There was one lady who, she was strictly the middleman. She would buy these things, and then she said she flew to Hawaii one time. Somebody gave her $20,000 to buy these things, and she was like, well, I didn't want to take all these. I didn't want to send these in the mail, so my husband and I flew to Hawaii, and we got paid in cash.
And then I got real uncomfortable when she said, and then we put all that money on the bed.
That was very uncomfortable.
But
because I'm glad she didn't tell us what happened after.
Girl, all I could think about was Indecent Proposal, that movie, and she was no Demi-Moore.
No.
Let me tell you.
No.
I couldn't go with it.
I suspect that her husband was not Woody Harrelson either.
No.
That was who was her husband, right? Woody Harrelson?
It was Woody Harrelson. Yeah, back in his young days.
Yeah.
But,
and maybe that Navy guy was Robert Redford, but
yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, but so Beanie Baby, the business became kind of dangerous because these women were going wild, and it became no longer about, hey kids, let's get in the car and go look for these Beanie Babies. It had started becoming people's businesses.
Mm-hmm. Like, there was theft happening.
Somebody got knocked in the head with a sledgehammer.
Yes. Look, I don't want to laugh about that, but come on.
Let me tell you, that is when I'd be out. Because
when somebody knocked you on the head with a sledgehammer for
just the
Princess
fear,
Diana?
The fear of somebody wanting something. So around, I'm a baby of the 80s, and I'm a kid and a teen of the 90s. And so the one thing that I remember, because, back during those days, it was such a huge thing for parents to tell you that if you had something expensive, somebody would beat you up and take it. Mm-hmm. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
It was a whole big thing.
Yeah.
And I remember in elementary school, do you remember British Knights?
No.
Shoes?
No.
You don't remember British Knights?
No.
Please, y'all, if somebody else had British Knights, please leave a comment because...
What is British Knights?
Okay, British Knights were a shoe brand, mm-hmm. and they were released in 1985. I got a pair in first grade when it was huge. And so, we lived on a very meager income. My dad was self-employed and a pastor, and we didn't make a whole lot of money, but I needed some British Knights because everybody had them. And so my mother bought me for Christmas this little white pair of British Knights that had black lace shoestrings. I'll never forget them. And they were so cute. They had little black lace inserts. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I've got British Knights. I'm so excited. I promise you, the next night on the news, somebody said a kid got stabbed in the ribs and they took his British Knights.
You never wore them again.
My mother said, Misty, I'm a first grader. Misty, you really need to be careful wearing those British Knights to school because if somebody wants them, they've got kids getting stabbed.
I think I see where the beginning of your
Anxiety
started.
Do you know what I did the next day? I took my British Knights and I left them out in the rain so they would get ruined so I didn't have to wear them.
Misty.
I'm not kidding. And I know my mother paid at least $75
Oh
for
my
those shoes.
gosh.
And that was in the 80s, okay? Like it was my whole Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
And I purposely took those British Knights outside and left them out in the rain because I was scared to wear them. So sledgehammer me in the head for some Beanie Babies. I'm done at 3. No, thank you. I don't want a Princess Diana bear that bad. Bye. You can have my Beanie Babies.
Been down that road.
I'd be like, you can have my Beanie Babies, you can have my Care Bears, you can have my Cabbage Patch Kids. I don't care. Take it all. I don't even like toys.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
that makes me sad.
Yeah, that was mine.
I would have got. Did you get in trouble?
I did get in trouble. Yeah.
I would have gotten.
But then
so
I
much
was
trouble.
like, well, what's better? These ruined British Knights or me stabbed in the gut?
Did you say that to them?
In the
Because
first
like
grade.
if he had said that to me, I would have realized, oh, it's my own fault that she did that.
No, I don't think in my first grade mind I even thought to be honest and be like, you've scared me to death. I don't want to wear these shoes
Yeah.
to school anymore. My thought was destroy them and she won't make you wear
This seems like something you should bring up in a therapy session.
I have a lot of things I should bring up in therapy session. This podcast is my therapy session, okay?
Fair enough.
Yeah. So childhood trauma number 1 was getting an Alf doll that I thought was going to eat me in the middle of the night.
Oh my gosh.
Childhood trauma number 2, British Knights, and my mother told me a gang member was going to stab me in the gut in first grade. She didn't really, but that's how I took it.
Yeah, that's how you felt. Yeah.
Because she said, hey, kids are getting, be careful because kids are
Yeah.
getting hurt because of this stuff. And
Oh
so,
gosh.
and back then, parenting was all about scaring your kid to death.
Yeah, yeah.
Like-
I have to be, I have a 6-year-old right now. She's in first grade. And I have to be careful what I say because she definitely interprets
take it
things. Yeah,
very
they interpret
literally.
things very literally. And
It's going to happen to them.
like, I mean, I can't tell her that it's 5:30 when it's 5:32. She argues with me. She's like, it is not 5:30, it's 5:32. So
Right.
if I were to tell her you might get stabbed, she might not get out of bed for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
gosh, that makes me feel sad for 6-year-old Misty. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I wore those
If
British
I find a
Knights.
pair of British Knights, they're probably right next to the Beanie Babies at the thrift store.
Well, I looked them up online today.
Oh, you did?
Because I was like, I wonder if British Knights, and people sell them still. They're like $40.
Oh,
You can get
really?
a pair, and I found my pair.
Do they make them still?
I don't know. I don't know if they still make
I
them.
don't think, if I did hear about them, it's been long enough that I don't remember.
BK Knight, I can't believe you don't remember.
No, for me, it was all about Nike. Like, we had to have Nikes. Like,
Okay.
we were just like, I got to have a new pair of Nikes.
Yeah.
That was,
British Knights was a short-lived trend because the gang members took it over like everything else.
oh, they take everything. They ruin everything.
Raiders, they took everything. I went to Gresham Middle School, and our mascot was the Raiders, and it was constant that people were saying, y'all have gangs in your school because your mascot's a Raider.
Hey, make sure that the next time you answer a security question, it's not about what your mascot was in middle school.
Oh, whoops. Also, the last 4 of my social security is...
What's your mother's maiden name?
Oh, I'm not telling.
All right, somebody offered this Mary Beth lady $100,000, and this was $196.
How about Mary Beth kicking herself in the tail for not taking
What
that?
the frackalack? What in the world?
She probably can't get $100 for them now.
Oh, she still has it too. She still has her collection.
Because these fools are still hanging on.
They're still. Well, what's she gonna do with them?
Exactly. Well, like Shelly sent me a thing from Facebook I showed you. I thought it was her collection, but it's not. And it was somebody selling a lot of 100 Beanie Babies
Yeah.
for $100.
$1 each.
$1 each because they just want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
But like you said, what else are you going to do with
What
them? Like
else?
Shelly and her mother they like memories and they like things, so they'll keep them.
Well, there's value in that.
There's value in
There's
that.
value in that. And, you know, there's that one guy in the documentary who had tubs and tubs of them. And he said, this is my one connection to my mom, who apparently, to hear him talk, had passed on.
Beanie Babies.
And they collected them together. And he did say, I do have a number in mind. I'd be willing to give up my memories for that.
Right. I mean, if it'll pay my mortgage off.
If it will, I've got a number in mind. But that number will never happen because it's 2022 now, and those things are absolutely worthless.
Nobody
you know,
wants
unless
them.
something happens in the next 6 months to change that bubble, to
Hey,
restart
guys,
that bubble.
Maybe this podcast right here will be the catalyst to drive those prices back up.
What can we do? We can be these ladies of the new millennia.
That's right. And
What can we do? We can start our own magazine.
Beanie Broads. Beanie Witches. Drop the W. Man, if they would have just let me brand it.
We are so creative.
So creative.
We are so creative.
We could have them bring them in, and we
I
could.
feel like we're better than that lady, that Lena.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Our skin's not as supple, but
Lord, no. But I feel like we could really do something for the Beanie Baby community.
I agreed.
Now, what really makes you famous back in the 90s was, as a toy, was if they would micro-size you down and put you in a child's Happy Meal. And let me tell you, did they do it?
There's not much more happy you can get than a Beanie Baby in a Happy Meal.
And I can remember this. And again, it was during Shelley's phase of Beanie Babies and Janine's. And I can remember us going through drive-thrus and buying Happy Meals.
Are you serious?
Because they needed part of the collection.
Sure.
Yeah. And some of these women...
People were buying like 20 30 Happy Meals.
How about these poor kids have got heart disease now? Because you made them eat Happy Meals for a month straight.
Yeah. Well, they were like, this is an investment in our future.
And then my favorite was when they had that newscast and you could see like please don't take offense to this, the Karens, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like coming up, she's already got the pink one. Could we get the blue one, please? And if I was behind that cash register dealing with 50 crazy mothers, I'd be like, you can keep that pink one and be happy about it.
You might have noticed, I work at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Not for Ty.
I'll shove this purple one right up your butt.
Yes. You
I'm
get
not
what
really-
you get, you don't pitch a fit.
That's right.
You get what you get, you don't pitch a fit.
Back of the line.
Back of the line.
See ya.
In fact, I'm not even going to serve you right now.
No.
Go eat your french fries.
But good news for McDonald's, they like quadrupled their business
Yes.
in 2 weeks.
And people didn't necessarily even have to eat their food. They were buying it, just throwing away
They
the
said
food.
they just throw it in the garbage.
Just throwing it away.
I'm sorry. Could y'all not be like today? You could at least go take it downtown Birmingham and give it to somebody on the side of the
For
road.
real.
Please.
Yeah. So then Ty Warner got a little greedy after things went, like that first couple of years, the first year where everything blew up, he gave his employees, can you imagine this, a bonus equal to whatever their salary was. So if you made $50,000 that year, your bonus was $50,000.
Or
Or the next year, where you got a limited run Beanie Baby.
the $1 billion bear.
The $1 billion bear. The best part of that was he numbered every single one of them, so if you ever tried to sell them, he knew exactly who was selling it.
Who sold it?
Yeah.
And
That dude is cray.
okay, a little bit about Ty. He's crazy. He's only ever been interviewed one time
By one of these ladies for People Magazine.
by one of these ladies for People Magazine. And then after that, he refuses to take any interviews. He's very rarely seen. And people pretty much just don't know very much about him.
Well, I think that just adds to the mystery, right? This adds to...
He's kind of a Willy Wonka figure.
Well, no, not necessarily because... I mean, maybe because he's the owner, but...
And hidden
But he's
away.
just like... It adds to the whole value
Right.
because he's rare, just like the Beanie Babies are, right? You don't get a sighting of Ty very often unless it's going into federal court to avoid tax evasion charges.
Well, he's not a looker, so I'm not real sad about it.
Stay on the radio. Don't come out into the
That's
television.
right.
Yeah.
Just keep making those bears.
So so Lena left kind of on a sour note. Ty told this Canadian guy who really started the whole thing in Canada for him, the distributor, started asking specific things of him. And the guy was like, I can't do that for my business. And he said, well, I'm out. And overnight, this Canadian guy went bankrupt, had to sell all his stuff. I mean, here's somebody who went from, a modestly successful business to $23 million in 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
To $0
For nothing.
because he pulled out because Ty Warner was not a really nice guy. Turns out he's just not a great guy.
Well, and he just wanted to control him because he knew he could.
Right. Well, so the end was in sight for Beanie Babies, and so not the end was in sight, but the bubble burst. And so you kind of started seeing these prices start dropping. You'd have these $1,800 Beanie Babies that maybe suddenly were maybe $1,500, just kind of a slight drop. But it was coming. So what did Ty Warner do?
He said, I'm not going to make Beanie Babies anymore.
Guys, I have an announcement. He put it on the guest book on the website, which was sort of where everybody went to check their Beanie Babies. Guys, I have an announcement. I've just decided we're not going to make any more Beanie Babies.
And it was all in Comic Sans.
It was all in Comic Sans. That's literally what I've written in my notes. The website is all in Comic Sans.
And he said, no more Beanie Babies.
Yeah. But then, good news. Then he said, you know what? I'm going to have a vote. I'm getting so much feedback. I'm going to have a vote. On the Beanie Baby website, he said, you guys, do you really want me to keep these or should I still close down? And in a surprising turn of events, in a shocking turn of events, people wanted them to keep doing Beanie Babies.
And not only that, but he made you pay 50 cents a vote.
Oh, I missed that.
You missed that?
Girl, my word.
You couldn't just vote on the website. You had to pay 50 cents
Stop it.
for each vote. So think about these beanie crazed people who have spent thousands of dollars.
Oh my gosh.
Think about how many votes they're casting.
I totally missed that
Because they can't let Beanie Babies go or they're going to lose their house.
91%. 91% said,
I bet they did.
we need to keep these Beanie Babies.
I bet they did. How about I would love for us to start casting votes at 50 cents a piece.
Why don't we do that?
Could y'all vote on what Amaryllis is going to wear to church next week?
I can tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be something black.
50 cents a piece. She'll wear whatever you tell her.
But the whole thing backfired because people were like, you know what? We're getting used, and now you're taking advantage of us, and now it's just not fun anymore.
Yeah.
And now everything is oversaturated, and we're done. And so that's when it's interesting because he was a marketing genius until he wasn't.
Yeah.
And that's when it just sort of all started going down. In 2013, he admitted to tax evasion. He had created an offshore account. I want to say it's in Europe, Switzerland, maybe, to hide $107 million.
Good grief.
What the frack?
What would I even do with that?
Why is it not enough?
What would I even do with that kind of money?
$107 million. Listen, whenever my mom hears about these super wealthy people, she always says, if they could just give me just $1 million, they'd not miss it.
Oh, goodness.
They wouldn't miss it. Just give me one.
I'd have
That's all I want.
so many things.
I mean, you think about Elon Musk, he's worth $260 billion. Elon, just a single $1 million.
half.
You would never, you probably have it in your wallet.
Yeah.
It's in your wallet.
That's pocket change.
Misty, you want to tell everybody your Venmo account again, just in case Elon wants to send you
Elon.
$1 million?
That's MISTY dash, not the bottom one, the one in the middle.
Yeah.
GILLISPIE.
Uh-huh.
And that's my Venmo.
I'm Amaryllis 111. AMARILYS 111. Just in case you're looking for a depository for that extra $1 million.
Right.
That's in your wallet.
I'll hide it for you.
You will never miss.
I'll hide it for you.
Yes. Consider us offshore.
Yeah. Part of it will be at HBO Max. But I'll save my receipts if you need it. It's fine.
What if you got Elon Musk a gift from TJ Maxx?
And girl, I would pull that retail sticker right off of it and be like, here you go.
You'd pull up in your Mazda and you're like, here you go, Elon, and your self-driving Tesla.
Let me tell you how much I love TJ Maxx. So Philip loves to buy me gifts. Who doesn't? That man. He just loves to buy me things. And so, like I always say, don't buy me anything for Christmas. Or let's don't buy each other things. And he'll be like, okay. And then he'll still buy me stuff because he's sweet. And I don't.
You haven't bought him anything.
And I've not bought him a stitch of nothing. And so, but for Valentine's Day last year, I was subbing and I had a little bit of play money. And so I was like, I'm going to buy him a gift this year and he's going to be so excited. And so I'm a listener and I listen to what people say, and he had been saying his back hurts. And so I went to TJ Maxx and I found this thing that you put in your car. It's like a gel thing to help with your back.
Philip likes gel things.
He loves them. And I found this back massager, a lot of back things. And so I thought, well, he's going to love this because I care so much about his pain. And I put it all in a gift bag and I gave it to him and I was so excited. And he opened it and he said, thank you. And I said, do you not like it? And he was like, well, he said, this is really a gift you would give to a 90-year-old. And I said, Philip, I was listening to you about your back. And he said, no, you went to TJ Maxx.
And they had back things.
And you saw this all on a table together because that's what they do. And you got it while you got yourself a new sweater.
Stop it.
And I said, that's what I did.
Truth.
I said, that's what I did. And he said, could you just take it back to TJ Maxx and get me the $14.99 or whatever you spent? And so I did, and I've not bought him a gift since.
Nice. Well, it's his own fault.
It's his own fault.
It's his own fault.
I mean, what greater gift could he have?
Rhett and I did not do Christmas gifts this year for each other. We only did it for our girls.
I didn't buy it. I don't even remember his name. Philip.
I can't even think of his name yet.
I didn't even buy anything.
Rhett said, now, just want to be clear, because we've never not done Christmas for each other. We just decided
He bought
this
me
year.
a beautiful Coach bag.
Nice.
I haven't brought it in yet because I haven't
Because
changed.
you're scared of the cats.
I'm scared of cats.
Rhett said, now, this isn't one of those situations where we say, no, we're not getting anything, but you're going to trick me and you're actually going to have something for me, right?
That's what Philip does. And I really don't want anything. When we say, don't get me a gift, but he does it, and I almost think he does it I'll go, you just want me to feel guilty so you can be like, oh, I really love what Misty got me this year.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, it's because I love you and you deserve stuff. And he's so sweet.
Well, okay.
But
that is nice. A Coach purse is nice.
It is nice.
It was very nice. Misty comes in here every week with a brand new purse. Every single week. That's her.
These are my
that's
Beanie
her
Babies.
Guilty pleasure. Yes.
These are my Beanie Babies.
Except they're probably not going to be valuable in.
But let me tell you what I do. Is when I get ready to retire one, I clean it up real good and I sell it on eBay.
Do you really?
Yeah, because I take care of my things.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. I have some old Gucci purses upstairs.
Oh, I'll go sell those on eBay.
Like doctor's bags, that come back around finally. Now, they're really not, they're in really good condition, but they're very, very old. So I don't have the bags and that they all come in and stuff.
People don't care. Vintage.
Yeah, it's totally vintage. It's that doctor's bag.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. That, in fact, maybe I'll take it out and I'll start wearing it.
You should.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got one that looks like a binocular bag.
Also, that House of Gucci movie's out. But you can make a lot of money on eBay for that.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'll have to pull it down and see. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so Ty Warner, let's get back to this. Ty Warner, you might remember we were talking about this Beanie Baby documentary.
That's right.
So he ended up with 2 years probation because the judge said, you know what? He's been humiliated enough and he's given a lot of money to charity. So let's just get over this $107 million tax evasion.
That's fine.
And he'll be fine. So he only got 2 years probation and he's done. And then we met that Gallagher lady who authenticates beanies for $25, which, I totally forgot to tell you. We have a Beanie Baby that we got from my mother-in-law, my stepmother-in-law. I don't know the story, but she apparently has a huge collection.
Now, is it true that they don't make them anymore, or they're still making them?
I have no idea.
I mean, I feel certain I've seen them at Cracker Barrel.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know. But we have one that at Christmas, she got all the kids up there and she was like, you guys pick out a Beanie Baby or two. And of course, everybody had their phones out trying to see if there's any value in any of them. So Catalina picked one that we did a quick cursory search and it looked like it might have some potential. But now I know that nothing is worth anything. So
which one did she pick?
Jake the Drake, which is a duck, a mallard duck.
Oh, I think that is a good
Or
one.
a drake duck? I don't know. Drake.
I
mallard duck.
had 3. And so I had the Garcia bear.
Yeah.
Was the Grateful Dead tie-dye bear.
The tie-dye, yeah.
Which I think Philip paid like $80 for.
Yeah.
When he bought that for me.
Those were biggie.
We were dating. And then I had the pig one.
Okay.
Squeals or Squealer. And then I had that worm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And those are the only 3 I ever got.
I'm
and then
sure we've had different ones over the years. I don't know.
Never mind.
Maybe I'll send it to this Gallagher lady to authenticate it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm looking at the Beanie Baby, the Tie Toys website right now.
Yeah.
And Beanie Babies are actually less expensive now than they were in the 90s.
Well, how about that?
Back in the 90s, a normal one that you would buy for retail at the store, Hallmark or whatever, I think was like $9.
Okay.
$8 or $9. They're $5.99 now, free shipping.
Oh gosh, free shipping.
And they've got one named Mitzi. It's almost Misty.
I was going to say that's not your name.
Well, it's close,
Misty.
and it's a cat. Avery would love that.
Okay, she's about to buy it right there.
She loves a cat.
In the end, Beanie Babies are really just more about nostalgia and the kind of the feeling that you get. You know, and less about the money or the investment. Because guess what? Mary Beth's $100,000 offer, she should have taken it.
Yeah, because she's not getting anywhere close to that
She's
now.
never going to recoup that money. I mean, $100,000 can be life-changing money.
Yeah.
Of course, she appeared to have no need for extra money. But, I mean, if she's spending all this money on Beanie Babies and travel and $2,000 a month on phone bills.
Some of those women, though, are now in financial hardship because of it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people invested in Beanie Babies hoping to get back a huge return.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that whole, like we were talking about with Lula Rich.
Yeah.
You invest all this money in hopes of recouping that and making even more, and now they're just stuck with a bunch of Beanie Babies and a bunch of credit card debt.
So I want to be compassionate about that, but I'm not at all.
I'm not.
I feel like, first of all, if you are going to look at this as an investment, you've got to know when to get out.
Oh, yeah.
You got to know when to get out.
It's a gamble.
And didn't none of these people know when to get out?
No, because
because they were just hobbyists.
Right.
And, if I had a significant amount of money that I wanted to invest, I would absolutely not do it in stuffed animals. It doesn't seem like a very wise decision. And it certainly seems like an even less wise decision to put it all on credit cards.
And you know why else I don't feel bad for them? Because there was that guy, and what do they call him? The Beanie Meanie?
No, it wasn't a guy. It was that Phyllis.
No, it was a man.
That was a man? No.
That was, yes.
Oh, you're talking about, yes. I'm sorry, you're right.
Beanie.
Yes.
And he's actually someone who specializes in antiques and collectibles and things. And he told them right before all this crash, there's a news interview, and they're saying, what's it going to do? Is it going to get more popular, or is it going to go down? What's going to happen? And Mary Beth's on there going, buy a bunch of Beanie Babies, like you're going to pay for your kids' college, and da-da-da. And he's over there going, no
you're not.
This is about to dip. Like, this is what happens in things like collectibles.
Yeah.
One day, they're worth a ton of money, and the next day, they're worth nothing.
And it's like the time in between is like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and you have no idea when that might happen.
Right.
So, and he even said, if you're investing in collectibles for a return, you're investing in a sinking ship, because you never know what you're going to get back.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of like that last pair at the end, the father-daughter couple.
The one who talked like this.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with her, but
she was on a beautiful journey.
She was on a beautiful Beanie Baby journey.
Beanie Babies and medication.
Well, they were going to open up a museum after he retired so that she would have a job. I don't know why she can't get a job right now. But
Janine and Shelley, please go open a museum.
We will do a live remote from there.
We'll do a live remote, and we will also get you a couple of sign twirlers that say, "We've got the Princess Diana bear," straight from London.
I will not do that. Misty will.
I will not do it either. I've got a bad heart and a bad back. But it was a nice thought.
Yeah, that last pair, they were funny. They were funny. But yeah, they were like, we don't do this because we expect any money. We do it because it brings us joy. And that's really the only way to do it, because you sure as heck are not going to pay for your college degree with a Beanie Baby.
My favorite part of that was when they were talking to her, and she does, like, I'm sure she's a very nice woman, but she has the most monotone preschool teacher voice.
Yep.
And they were like, "What's your favorite Beanie Baby and why?" And she was like, "I really like this raccoon Beanie Baby because it reminds me of my father and the dark circles under his eyes."
The best was his look. It was
And
like,
he looked
what?
and he was like,
What?
"Thanks."
Yeah.
He was like, "I really like this little lamb. Like, it
it
reminds
was
me
sweet.
of how sweet and childhood." And she
Yeah.
was like, "This raccoon has thumbs like a human. Can dig pizza out of the garbage like my father does on Saturdays." Oh, goodness.
All right, the end. The end.
Guess what I'm getting you for Christmas next year?
I can't wait.
A Beanie Baby.
Which one?
I'm going to get you the raccoon
Because of the dark circles under my eyes?
because it reminds me of little bandits.
Reminds me of the thief
And
that you
you've
are.
stolen my heart, Amaryllis.
All right.
All right.
Well, we've done it again.
We have just
We've
another
entertained the masses.
showstopper.
I mean,
Hey, guys,
how do we do it week after week? I don't even know.
for our throngs of fans,
20s and 20s.
20s upon 20s upon 10s. Listen, friends, if you like this podcast, will you do us a favor and will you subscribe? And will you leave us a sweet little review? We don't like negative
We don't do
feedback.
negative. Look, and it's not just that we don't like them. Our egos can't handle it.
Leave us a little review and give us 5 stars. Why not?
Why not?
What else have you got to do?
Not one thing.
How about that's your good deed for the
That's
day?
your New Year's resolution,
That's right.
is to build up complete strangers on the internet.
On the dock, especially.
Yes.
And if you love us, tell your friends. Because
Tell your friends.
how many people do you have on Facebook every other day saying, "I'm looking for a new podcast"?
Yes, or I had no idea you had a podcast.
Yeah, point them this
I don't
way.
know how many more times I have to tell people that we have one before they
guess-
say, "Oh, you've got one."
I get so sick of telling people I got a podcast.
What, Misty?
I'm sorry, I was putting on chapstick.
We're still recording, Misty.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I get so caught up in it, I forget that I'm being recorded.
We're still mic'd.
I had to put on some of my lip smack. Yeah, people will be like, "I love this podcast," and I'll be like, "I do a podcast," and they're like, "Really?" And I'm like, "I only post about it 500,000 times."
Yeah.
Did you hide me on Facebook? That's what I'm
exactly
wondering.
what happened. Yeah.
Lynette,
I constantly hide people. Like, that's the best feature on Facebook.
do you really?
Oh, just this week when we stop recording, I will tell you the people that I've hidden
Oh, I can't wait.
because I can't anymore.
Have you ever hidden me?
No,
Just one time?
no,
Never?
no. But I do love that hide for 30 days feature.
Oh, you can do it just for 30
Yes.
days? See, here's my problem is I'm scared to hide people because then I'm scared I'll forget who I hid. And then they'll be like, "Oh, didn't you hear about so-and-so?" And
Yeah.
what? And it'll be some tragedy and I'll not know because I didn't have them on Facebook.
Yeah, I do it for 30 days and then I give them another chance. Now I'm certain, and I say that knowing that
That's
people
like Facebook jail.
Yes, and I'm sure people do that to me. There was a time in my life where I only talked about politics, and I thought it was really funny and clever about it. And when I go back and look at those posts now, I'm like, how was I ever on anybody's newsfeed? I mean, and every time they come up in my memories, I delete them because I'm just like so cringy about it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that I was hidden many, many, many times, and I'm still hidden from plenty of folks. But I constantly hide people. You will get hidden if all you talk about is your new health plan, You will get hidden if all you talk about is politics. And you will get hidden if you have no variety in your posts.
I'm pretty sure nobody has ever hidden me, because if you hide me, you hate autism.
Yeah.
You hate beautiful children.
Yeah.
And you hate hilarity.
Yeah. So how could anybody?
And Jesus. So whatever.
Yeah. I don't have any of those things except for maybe Jesus. So there's...
You have a beautiful family.
Oh, yes, they are beautiful. You're right about that.
You don't have
Yes.
autism. Sorry.
I don't have that. Dang it.
Too bad for you. But
It's like I always tell my friend who's in a wheelchair, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
Because you get that space, that handicap space.
Do you know what I told Philip the other day? We went to go eat dinner out one night, and it was so cold. And it was like packed kind of tight in there because it's like a new place and people were coming. And I was like standing there waiting. He was like, well, do you want to go out in this little thing? And I was like, no, because like they open the door and the air comes in and you get cold. And I told him, I said, these were the days I wish I was pregnant, because somebody would offer me a seat.
Pregnancy, the only good thing about pregnancy, I guess apart from having a baby, is it is all about you all the time.
Oh, yeah. People will offer you a seat.
They want to talk to you constantly.
I do not like them wanting to touch me.
No, that is not allowed.
I did not welcome
But there's
that.
constant, how do you feel? When is baby due? Girl, they just want to
everybody
talk
wants
to you.
to talk to you.
Everybody wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and defer to you constantly. Yeah, that's the only good thing. I was not a good pregnant person. I did not like it, but
Oh, I loved it.
oh yeah,
I did. I loved it.
I say that knowing the privilege that I had to be able to carry babies. I totally get it.
Absolutely.
But it does not change the reality that it is not a fun process.
It's not a fun process, but I love attention.
Yes. Well, yeah, absolutely. That's the best part. In fact, my 8-year-old, when I had my youngest, my oldest was 8 years old, 8.5, and she even told me, you're going to hate not having all the attention anymore, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
People feed you. They give you parties.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They ask you if you need to sit down. They don't expect you to do a whole lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's awesome.
mean, I peed
you
in the-
sit, rest. If you're standing in line for the bathroom, you immediately get taken to the front.
Oh, yeah. I peed in the middle of Winn-Dixie, and nobody said boo to me.
When you say you peed in the middle of Winn-Dixie.
Well, so I was pretty far along with my first. And I was in Winn-Dixie, and I felt this rush of warmth come over my
just happened.
my underpinnings. And I looked down, and sure enough, there was a puddle of water on the floor. And I said, well, my water's broke. And so I politely went to the front register, and I said, there's a cleanup in the produce section, and I think my water's broke, so y'all need to get that before somebody slips.
Yeah.
And so I called Philip, and he came and got me and took me to the doctor. And they took me in because it was about 4 weeks early.
Yeah.
And so they said, okay, well, let's check you. And so she checked me, and she came back in, and she said, well, hey, we did a little test. And if this paper turns blue, that's amniotic fluid. And if it turns pink, it's not amniotic fluid.
It was pink.
I TT'd on myself.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's understandable.
That's okay.
That baby was right on your bladder.
Yeah. How about Winn-Dixie never knew it? They thought they'd saved the day.
Oh, no. They probably put it in their newsletter.
Oh, yeah. Amniotic
Employee
fluid.
Newsletter. Mm-hmm. Customer has baby in the middle of Winn-Dixie.
So excited about these prices. The water broke. BOGO this week.
Buy some broccoli, get a baby.
There you go.
All right, listen, have a good week. I don't know what we'll do next. We'll figure it out. Maybe
Well,
somebody can tell us
considering
because
I'm-
it's sure as heck not going to be Tiger King.
I'm having a heart procedure next week. So
Oh,
who
that's
knows
right.
when I'll be back.
Who knows when you'll be back?
You'll
You'll be back right on time.
We'll
You'll be
see.
fine.
I'll be fine. If we need to, we can record from my bedside.
Yes,
How about
that's
that?
true, Misty. You're going to be fine.
I'm really not looking forward to it, y'all. If you've had a heart cath, please tell me, because I've read on the internet that you have to be awake for it, and I'm scared that I'm going to be awake. If you've had one, comment and tell me if I'm going to remember this or not, because I don't want to.
They're not going to, they'll do what's called twilight sleep, where you will be awake, but you will not have any memory of it.
There's no telling what I'll say.
That's a whole other story. That's a whole other ballgame. But
I wonder if I could slip a recording device in there.
they've probably heard it all.
Probably.
My sister had surgery once on her nose, And when she woke up out of anesthesia, she looked at the doctor. She said, "What's up, Bugs Bunny?" I worry very much about what I would say I have all these deep, dark secrets.
Oh,
Terrible, deep, dark secrets.
There's no telling what I would say.
All right.
All
Listen,
right.
you're going to be fine. We'll be back the following week.
Okay.
You're going to be good to go.
And
also, by the time folks listen to this, you will have already had that procedure.
Yeah. And then I can tell you all about it.
Yes. So our next episode, which again is to be determined.
Yeah, we don't know what we're
figure it
going to do
out.
yet, do we?
Yeah, we just know it's not Tiger King.
If you have any ideas, if you've seen a really good one,
Yeah.
let us know.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, we might. Some people tell us stuff all the time and we never do.
Er,
We're totally down. All right. I think we've reached the end. Goodbye, Misty.
Bye.